Even if you're like a little chill throughout the year, on Rosh Hashanah, there's a higher level of anxiety. The Kosva Amekubalim, the Mekod Mrod, Sheliyot Sechel HaTorah Klula B'Yira V'Ava, since the Torah is geboit on Yira V'Ava, I think he's referring to the Tikkun Zohar that says that Yira and Ava are like two wings of a bird. A bird cannot fly with one wing, but the two wings are one's Ava, one's Yira. Yira al mitzvahs lo yisaseh, Ava al mitzvahs eseh. Kayadua, the doing comes from Ava, and holding back comes from Yira. Right? So the hen ha'adam liyoto chomer achur afar min adama. So meaning, what he's saying meanwhile, the Mekubalim wrote that the Torah kuloi is about Yira and Ava. Mitzvah says Ava, Mitzvah Loisa says Yira. That's one point. The hen ha'adam, from the other point of view, Adam liyoser chomer achur afar min adama, he's made from dust. Doime lemisha einav zgurot, so he's compared to someone with his eyes closed. V'yesh bebet ha'afer, v'yoshev bebet ha'afer, sitting in a dark home. She'olam chashach bado, v'tzrich lezeh shiftach einav. So he has to open his eyes. וגם שיבוא לו נר, יבוא לו נר, יביאו לו נר, כדי שיראה מאורות, דבחדה לא סגי. What does it mean, בחדה לא סגי? How do you understand it?
He's in the dark with his eyes closed.
So one candle won't be enough.
Either bringing the candle or opening his eyes.
Oh, that's what it means? Okay, I think you're right. I didn't learn that way. I think you're right. It says yiftach einav, he should open his eyes. V'gam she'yavir lo ner. Yeah, his eyes and a candle. Kedei she'yireh morot. The bechada, meaning eyes without a candle or a candle without an eyes, lo sagi, won't be enough. Omnam keshe'yavir lo ner, after minav zgurot, but if you bring a candle, even if his eyes are closed, margish k'tzat b'or haner. You can still see it through your closed eyes. V'im yiftach einav ma'at yireh or ma'at. So meaning, the more you open your eyes, the more light he'll see. Ulefi ha'shiur sheyiftach einav, and whatever the measure, as much as it open his eyes, kach yireh or hagadol mehaner hagadol or ba'ir. The more he opens his eyes, the more he will be exposed to the light. Okay? Ken ha'adam, machmat she'enei sechlo stumim milistakil b'muskolot, since our intellectual eyes are closed, u'milishtadel kach, we don't do that enough. V'gam she'yoshev b'olam hazeh olam ha'shofet ha'ofel, and we're sitting in a world, like in a home which is dark. Mitoch kach ha'kasil b'choshech holech, so the fool goes in darkness. Tach merot einav maskil libo, ech lirau livat Hashem hanichbad v'norah. We don't know how to fear and love Hashem the way we should. Ve'eino margish b'yira v'ava klal. He doesn't feel at all, again, normal circumstances, no fear and no love of Hashem. Ve'eino yachol lechaven datoi, machar she'eino yodea tiva shel ava v'yira. And he doesn't even know what to think about because he doesn't know what it means to love and fear Hashem. Rak min hasava v'lachutz. It's just lip service. She'eino ro'eh mimid tzarich lira u'lemid tzarich la'ava. He doesn't see who should be afraid of and who should love. Ve'eino metorer lekach. And on his own, he will not waken up to start feeling ava v'yira. So a person in this world is really stuck a little bit. His eyes are closed. He's in a dark world, and naturally he will not discover on his own the way of loving and fearing Hashem. How do you love? How do you fear? How could you fear something which is not tangible? How? You know, we just had a PTA meeting with parents of year 12 for the coming year, and I want to bring out the idea of the base medrash, whatever. That the problem is that it's not tangible. It's not like A levels. You get a grade. You know exactly what you do. What about learning Torah? So I said, in 48 hours from now is our din. Who's really afraid? Very few. Not that we don't believe. We believe. But it's just not there. Our eyes are closed. We don't know what to feel. So again, we do believe. Chazal tell us that in 48 hours, less now, than 48 hours from now, our life will be on the line. But I call it tudo bem, casa Deus contigo. That's what you say in Portuguese. And we're from Yidden. We know it's going to happen. We don't have a doubt. But who do you see really is afraid? Not too many. Again, you can't generalize. I'm sure there are those who are afraid, and there's different dargas. Akon nachon. You know who's afraid? Only the tzaddikim. The ones who don't have so much what to be afraid of. I remember the Mashgiach and Yeshiva was mamish pale the whole month of Elul. Rabbi David Eliach. So I'm sure all of us feel something. Chas v'shalom to say we don't feel anything. Chas v'shalom. But it's hard to feel. I think, would you agree with that, Chava? Maskimim? We all know what's happening and we don't feel it. We would love to feel it. Right? Any need for more? I have more. Yeah, there's enough? Here, Bakasha. We would love to feel it, but we don't know what to fear, how to fear, when to fear. And to a certain degree, we wish we would have a button that we could go straight to Sukkot. Halavai, I would have a button I could go, I'm in Sukkot. But not because Chas v'Shalom we're Rishayim. Chas v'Shalom. It just, we don't know how to do it. That's what he's saying, meanwhile. Oh, one second, I think I gave my last one. Oh. Kedusha. Thank you. Okay, very good. Okay, sharing is caring. Okay, good what we said. Okay, I thought I had more, I'm sorry. Okay. So we're stuck. We don't know what to do. So what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu do? Lekach. Ma asa HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what did Hashem do? I'm like in the middle of the line, like the 10th line. Lekach ma asa HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sheratza lezakot Yisrael am skula. He wants lezakot. How would you say lezakot in English?
To merit.
To merit others. To give us the opportunity to merit. Like to make others merit. Any word for that in English? What? Okay, Lizakus, okay. Lizakus Yisrael am skula. So that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted us that we should go around without feelings. Natan lehem mo'adei Hashem mikrei kodesh. So he gave us these illustrious moyadim. Asher behem mashpia lehem HaKadosh Baruch Hu shefa kedusha u'ma'ir oro b'Rosh Hashonoh v'yom v'noraim ma'ir or ha'pachat v'yira. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives some kind of divine assistance on these days that it's easier to feel His yira. V'zeu hatam, and that is the reason. She'en lecha adam Yisrael. Look a second. You don't have any yid in the world. Shelo yeh margish yira v'fachat kol echad lefi b'chinato u'lefi anato. Everybody according to his understanding and his madrega. She'asa mikodem. Meaning everyone according to what it's available for everyone. Everyone could take advantage of it. U'lefi ptichat einav yesh yirat romut. If he opens his eyes to the fullest, there will be Yira Seromimus, which means the Yira of what? How would you translate Yira Seromimus? The Yira of all. Oh, okay. ויש ירא יראה מועטת, יש ירא יראה גדולה. ויש יותר ויותר גבוה מעל גבוה, וגבוהים עליהם. There's many dargas in this. ולפי השפע והרעש שמקבל בראש השנה, whatever he will absorb on the day of Rosh Hashanah, כך נמשך עליו ונשאר הרושם לכל השנה. Big aside. As much as Yira and Risroimus that we chap on Rosh Hashanah, the beginning sets the tone. That's what will be for the rest of the world. וכן בשבתות, מאיר אור התענוג, דהיינו אהבה, וכל אדם מרגיש תענוג, everybody feels on Shabbos pleasure, יש תענוג גשמי, ויש תענוג רוחני, לפי הכנתו ולפי פתיחת עיניו, וממנו מושך לכל ימי השבוע להבאת השם ולהתענג על השם. That's what Shabbos is for. Meaning HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us stops on the way that we could what can we do? I'm sorry? Recalibrate. What does that mean? Sounds good. To recharge our batteries, because otherwise you can live 90 years, you won't feel anything. Because Baruch Hu wants to help Am Yisrael, so He gives us these station points from time to time to refuel. Refuel? Okay, good. Rabbi said, it's so nice that you have such patience for my English. Okay. ומאיר אור שמחה, וממנו נמשך, right? ובחגים ומועדים, that means פסח and סוכות, אור שמחה, וכל אדם מישראל מרגיש שמחה גשמית, ויש שמחה של מצווה, שמחה רוחנית, דקה מן הדקה, a very mild one, לפי הכנתו ולפי פתיחת עיניו, וממנו נמשך שישמח ישראל בעושה בכל השנה. וזהו סוד הכתוב באור פני מלך חיים. So again, each Yom Tov, each Shabbos, Rosh Hashanah, it's an opportunity to refuel for the Vayta, what will follow afterwards. הנה כי כן לו בכוח יגבר איש בראש השנה, להיות ליבו מלא יראה ורדת וזה מפחד השם ומהדר גאונו, and try as much as possible to instill in you in Rosh Hashanah the fear of Hashem. ואף על פי שאמרנו שתלוי בהכנתו של אדם, even though we've said that it's depending on how much you prepare yourself, מכל מקום, מאחר ששעי יראה פתוחים, since the gates of Yira are open on these days, בהתעורר אדם עצמו, when a person will awaken himself, ימצא עזר כנגדו. He'll find, there'll be a very divine help. ומצא כדי גאולתו, it's all paraphrasing פסוקים, וחייתה נפשו לכל השנה כולה. ובלבד שלא יסיח דעתו, כי אם כל היום יהיה רק עסוק להעמיק ולהחמיר ולהתמיד במחשבתו ליראת השם הנכבד והנורא, יראת הרוממוס, בגין דאיהו רב ושולט, איקו ושורשת כל העמים, וכולה קמי כולו חשב. Meaning, it's one day that you could really, but you got to be focused on that day. ומצווה היום להתעורר מאוד ביורי תשובה, ובפרט בשעת התקיעס, meaning grab the opportunity, what we spoke about last week. Grab opportunities. Rosh Hashanah is an opportunity, especially at the time of the Tkiyas. שאז מלך יושב על כיסא דין, ואפילו מלכי מרום יוחזר מורד, ורואים בכל קהל ישראל שיעמוד הרב הזקן שבהם לפני התיבה קודם התקיעס. It should be recommended that in every shul before Tkiyas, the Rav should give a Musa Shmos, ויאמר להם דברי כבושים, בכתב או בעל פה, I think it's a typo, ויקרא בגרון כשופר קולו להודיע לרבים מה נעשה כיום הזה, כמה כוחה של תשובה, וכדומה לפי צחודו שלו, למען יזכרו וישובו, ואחר הדרשה יאמר קדיש וינוע העם בכוונו בכל חום, שהוא מסוגל מאוד לכפרת עוונות, והשעה צריכה לכך. Meaning, what did he say? Tell the Rabbi say. It's a day to chap. And even if you didn't prepare yourself so much before, you could still, the gates of Yira are open. And you have a tremendous siyata tishma to chap around Yira much more than elsewhere in the year. And especially at the time of the Tkiyas, try to focus, try to think what's at stake, and whatever you're going to grab on this day will have an impact on the whole year. Okay. I'll give you an example. I'm going to speak about it with my wife. We were invited for Hashonoh here and there and so on. And I thought to myself, okay, first of all, it's very nice of people to invite. We also invited some people. Very nice, very nice. Is it really a time to socialize? It really is. Rosh Hashanah a time like to sit with people and socialize. I don't, you know, I let my wife decide. First of all, anyway, she decides. Anyway, but I was told that when Rav Dessler was in London in World War II, he was here in London, and he was without his family. His family was stuck in Australia. Okay, Baruch Hashem, they lived. They're not stuck elsewhere. But he could be, and then someone invited him on a Seder to join them. I'm sorry? No, Lela Seder. And he answered, thank you for the invitation, but inviting me to join your Lela Seder is like you're inviting me to join the Elah. Which means it's an auspicious time. It's not time for socializing. That's the point. Okay, does the Olam feel that this is a Hargosha Nechoina? What do you feel? You feel that? Yeah. Alan Ken, it's people that you can speak to them about Kedushas Hayom as well. So Adrabah, you know, Barov Eitza, Barov Tushia. But if we're going to speak about Ukraine, Russia, or we'll speak about, I don't know, the politics, so I don't know. So he's saying, meanwhile, the Peli Yoitz is saying, HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows that we are in a very tough situation, and from time to time He gives us these lighting points, and chaparayim. איך אומרים בספרדית? תפוס כפי יכולתך. Right? יש כזה ביטוי בעברית. תפוס כפי יכולתך. Right, okay. Okay, so that, meanwhile, what would you say? Is it good news? Is it good for the Jews or bad for the Jews, what we learn meanwhile? What would you say? It's good for the Jews. He's saying that we're stuck, our eyes are closed, we don't see the light, but in these days, with a little effort, you can chap a lot. Because the Kodesh Baruch Hu opens the gates of Yira, at least these days are Yira. Okay, let's go on. And the Rav should give a Musa Shmuz, and then they should say Kaddish before the Tkiyas. We don't do that, do we? We don't do that. Okay.
What about a year like this year?
I'm sorry?
What about this year? Shabbos and Shabbos
And there's no Tkiyas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
You know, it may come out. It's really, I thought about it. It may come out enough communal halacha because the Mishmur brings in the name of the Arizal, not to sleep on Rosh Hashanah afternoon, but you could. If why the Arizal would go to sleep? Why after Tkiyas you're allowed to sleep? But on Shabbos that we don't have Tkiyas, so maybe we're back to the halacha that you cannot sleep. But it's Shabbos. Okay, I'm not. You ask your local Rav, ask your local Posek. It's fine. I remember when I saw the Mishnah a few days ago. After the Kiyas, it's like a little bit lighter. And what about Shabbos? No idea. Okay, let's go on. Okay. ואחר כך יתחילו סדר עת שערי רוצה בהכנוע רבה, כי ההכנוע הוא עיקר גדול לכפורו ולקיבול תפילס. Again, how would you say הכנוע in English? Humility, that's what it means? Okay. Now it's in brackets. Says in brackets says the Peliois. I don't like what I see in these days. Each one wants to show that he has a beautiful voice. זה קופץ מזווית זה ונותן את קולו לבריתך.
It's a pismon.
What?
It's a piyut. It's about the Akedah.
So it's a Sephardi piyut.
And the end of it is Livritcha Shochem.
ואחד מזה מדבר...
like to sing it. I'm going to sing it. And I'm going to sing it.
בחינה מימין, לפעמים יש כוח, but not known otherwise. ומי ירד קולו לשורר בכל חיזון, אוכילה וזוכנו. People want to take the Rosh Hashanah's experience to show what kind of nice voices they have. וכן, ומה עבודת השם יש בזה? ומה לשם שמיים שייך זה? אין זה אלא עצס היצר. Okay, good. Now let's go to the next paragraph. So meanwhile, he's saying, chaparayim. וכדי לעורר את עצמי, and to awaken myself, ואת בני גילי, and people like myself, רציתי להעתיק דברי קדוש המקובל האלוקי, מורינו הרב רבי שלום שרבי מזרחי, זיכרונו לחי העולם הבא, הובא בספרו הקדוש נהר שלום. מה שהיה אומר בשעת התקיעות. So now he's going to say over, write over, what the Reb Shalom Sharabi would say at the time of the Tkiyas. U'ma tov ledorsham berabim, and how great it would be if you'll say it in public. Ki dvarav divrei elokim chaim. His words are divrei elokim chaim, v'hem kegachalei esh, dvarim hayotzim min halev, v'nechnasim lalev, ki yiten ha'adam et rucho alehem. A person should pay attention to it. Hem nokvim et halev at bet chalalo. They could pierce the heart in its full. וזה לשונו. ידוע, what? למורי ברבי? What does it mean? The Arizal? Maybe Mori Rabbi. Pshat tam mitzvah shofar, the simple understanding of, I think you're right, Mori Rabbi, the mitzvah of shofar, le'orer al levavot ha'yeshenim, to awaken the sleepy hearts. K'moi shekosav HaRambam zal, and now he's quoting Lashon HaRambam, אף על פי שתקיע שופר בראש השון הגזר הסקוסוב, רמז יש בו. כלומר, אור ישני משנסכם, ונרדמים הקיצו מתרדמנסכם, וחיפשו במעשיכם, וחזרו בתשובה, וזכרו באורכם. אלה השוכחים את האמס בהבלי הזמן. They forget the truth because of the day and the day occurrences. ושוגים כל שנתם. שוגים, I think, they make a mistake. How do you understand Lashon HaRambam ושוגים?
They missed the target.
Mr. Target כל שנתם בהבל וריק. Asher lo yo'ilu v'lo yotzilu. This is all Lashon Rambam. Habitu lenafshotechem. Look, take care of yourselves. והיטיבו דרככם ומען עליכם. יעזוב כל אחד דרכו הרע ומחשבתו אשר לא טובה, ויתחרט על ביטול תורה, ומיעוט מצוות, על אשר לא טוב עשה. So now, this is already Reb Shlomo Sharabi saying, the person should have charata on the bitul Torah that he did, and not doing mitzvahs enough. על אשר לא טוב עשה. ולא על מעשיו של שנה שעברה בלבד. Don't only focus on what you did the last year. אלא על מעשיו של כל ימי שני חייו. Since he was born. וגם על כל גלגוליו שעברו. We don't know what this means, I'm going to say. But most of us are gilgulim. Most of us are gilgulim. Today there's no nun neshamas. So try to do a kapara on your previous gilgul. We don't know, consciously we don't know what it means. They say if a boy and a girl get engaged on the first time, and it's the first one for him, and the first one for her, they're nun neshamas. That's what I say. According to that yardstick, my wife and myself were from Terach. Because both of us took a long time till we saw each other. We're way, way back. If that's the yardstick. Okay, anyway. וגם בגלגוליו שעברו על הכל יביא אלוקי במשפט. ואין אתה ייתקע שופר בעיר והעם לא יחרדו, נחפשה תוכנו ונחקורה, כי אין באבותינו שלך ימינו, זה כמה וכמה שנים רבות. It's a pasuk. ולכן כל מגמת פנינו בתפילתנו, our whole intention in our davening should be, בכוונה שלמה לבדות את השכינה וניצוצי הקדושה מהגלות, ולתבר בית איסורים דילי. Okay, Rabbi said this is Kabbalah. I don't think it's for us. כמו שכוזר בתיקונים, על הפוסק ויפן כה וכה. Okay, Itman Yisar B'tiyuf Yisrael to get the choices out. Okay, we're skipping a little bit. And then it goes on saying, people are not focusing on HaKadosh Baruch Hu, 3 lines from the bottom. Everybody is screaming in the davening, Kikalvin, like dogs. Give me food, give me slicha. No one's really caring so much about HaKadosh Baruch Hu's tsar, but on their own personal tsar. ליבו יחיל ברכיבו מפחד השם ומהדר גאונו וייתן לליבו כי היום יביא את דינו למשפט. Today he is being judged. לפני מלך מלכי המלוכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שופט כל הארץ מגופו, he himself is being judged, ומבניו, his children, וממונו, his wealth, והוא יודע כל מעשה איש מחשבותיו. הקדוש ברוך הוא knows each one's deeds and thoughts, ותחבולותיו, וכל תעלומות לב, ואין צריך לפניו. הקדוש ברוך הוא doesn't need before him לא עדים, he doesn't need witnesses, ולא ראיה, no proofs, כי הוא עדיין, הוא עד, הוא בעל דין, והקדוש ברוך הוא has all the information by him. ויראה ופחד יבוא בו לאמור, מה יעשה? What should I do? כי יקום כל וכי יפקוד. מה אשיבנו? ויפשפש במעשיו, וברגע קטון, in one moment, עיניו יחזו למצוא עוונו מצידו, 1000 עורבה מימינו, וכמעט שעבר על כמה למין, ובפרט התלויים בלב. Meaning, when you start looking and thinking, you can get overwhelmed of how many averes a person can do. To go and lo tisna achicha b'lvavcha. He's now going to give a list of mitzvahs, not to hate someone. You know, if you don't speak to somebody more than 3 days, it's every day you say lo tisna achicha b'lvavcha. Yeah, if you don't speak b'shemeva, of course. If you don't speak stam, no problem. But doesn't that happen to people that they don't speak to each other because they fell out with each other sometime? Shlomo, Baruch Hashem, you don't know about it. It's gavaldik. Baruch Hashem. But like, he's just going to give, now it's going to give a list of small things that happen which accumulate to a tremendous amount. The way I remember the Chofetz Chaim, after 3 days, every second is an Aver. So, Aaron Eliezer, you're a young guy. You probably love everyone, everyone loves you. Baruch Hashem. When you get a little bit older, I remember in a certain shul, I guess I remember nameless, I saw 2 people didn't speak to each other. They're already in their 80s. With one of them, I was very close. He used to come to our house for Shabbos a lot. The other one, I was just friendly. And I asked the one that I'm close to him, I said, I see you don't say hello to each other. Is that true? He said, yeah. We decided to ignore each other. It's already for over 40 years. I said, how did it start? You think I remember? He doesn't remember. I said, can I try to make shalom? They're both not alive anymore. They were nifted with that. So that's what he's a little bit touching upon here. Lo tisadrib levacha. Lo tikom v'lo titol. Lo ta'ametz. Don't be stingy. Lo tikbotz et yadcha. Ve'esin. And what about the mitzvahs eser? Liyirat Hashem, la'ava oto, la'lechet b'drechav. Ve'eser deve'ahavta l'reacha kamoicha. To love your fellow Jew like you love yourself. Shu klal godel b'Torah. V'hihi she'ichiva et betenu. ועדיין לא ניתרנו מנגד צרת עוון סינס חינם ולושן הרע הקושה. לשון הרע, which is kosher, בעבד זרוע, גילוי הרעש וחסדמים ושבוע הסרם והזכרת השם לבטולה שהוא כשבוע הסרם בין בלושן הקודש, בין בלושן סגרם. What he's doing now is going over a list which are small of errors that many people do, and they should just be aware of it about it on Rosh Hashanah and do tshuva on it. והגז בנו ושקר וביטול תפילוס וברכס המצווס כיוצא בזה עבירות קלות וחמורות. Kabir matzah yadenu. We'll find a lot like them. ועל זה ידבו כל הדבים. האם לכך נוצר האדם לעבור על רצון יצרו חס ושלום? Were we created to transgress the will of Hashem? או שמא החיים ושלום דמשמיים יהיב לעבד הזמן להבל הוריק, and the chaim that Hakadosh Baruch Hu gave us, should we just waste it on nonsense? ולא אדם נידן על כל הרגעים וטובים ממנו במה הוציא כל רגע. Each minute will be synchronized. What's the word? What? Scrutinized. Sorry, I won't do it again. לא תרפני על בילי. ועוון ביטל תורה עולה על כולנה. על מי עבדו הארץ, על עובדים הסטרוסי. והתחיל הסדינו של אודם על דברי תורה. This is all Reb Shalom Sharabi speaking. וכל שעה וכל רגע שאינו עוסק בתורה, נקרא חיסון לא יוכל למנוס. וכל שאינו עוסק בתורה נקרא נוזוב, כי דבר השם ביזה. ובכל יום בת קול יוצאת ואומרת אוי להם לבריות מעלבונה של תורה. ואפילו היושב בטל, if it just sits idle, נקרא לץ מדעת קיטוס, the four קיטוס that cannot see פני שכינה. the Gemara in Sota, שקרנים, ליצונים, what are the other two? בעלי לשון הרע? I forgot one now. וכל שכן, look at this, וכל שכן הסך שיחה בטלה, שהוא בעשת, נכתיב, ודיברתם בו לא בדברים בטלים, וכתיב, הוגעתם השם בדבריכם, וכסיב מגיל לאדם מסיחו, אפילו דברים שהם בממש, נכתבים ונקרים לפניו ביום הדין. אוי לו לאותה בושה, אולי תוך נימה. וכל שכן הנכשל באובן דעת קיטוס, הפוגמים כל דעת, those דעת קיטוס. A B, you know what a B stands for? Atzilut, Bria, Yitzira, Asiya. The four alamas that we all in. When Ravad Yosef, there was one Chaver Knesset of Shas that he wanted to change. So he said on him, Hu ba'olam ha'atzilus, we need someone ba'olam ha'asiyah. He's too high up there. Oh, here they are. Tano litzonim, chanfonim, shakranim, mesaprim lashon hara. וכל חטא החטא, הוא קץ מכאוב לשכינה, הוא מחזיק בייסורים delay. Okay, Rabbi say. You're going to read it. It's tough. It's a little bit heavy. But I'll tell you what I want to take from it. I want to give a different angle now. Meaning, what was the angle given till now? The severity of Rosh Hashanah is an opportunity. There's divine assistance. Try to wake yourself up. How do you do it? Go over and see the Averis that all of us are susceptible to do, and see that there's a tall order there that we have to remove. And try, at least on Rosh Hashanah, to be focused and not to be oisik in other things. That's the point they're saying at this stage. He goes on more and more about this Aguda. Fine. What I want to take out from here, not to our next point, is the Gemara says again in Sota that there are four kitos that don't see Pnei Hashchina. The four are Chanfanim, Leitzanim, Shakranim, and what? And Baal Lashon Hara.